All right. Welcome to On the Sideline. I'm your host, Jeff Holden. Today we got a full cast, and we're excited about it. We're here with Big O.
How y'all doing out there?
Coach Evan Hearn. And Coach Jay. We got a full cast, like I said. All four of us here. It's been a couple weeks now since we've got to get together. Again, life just comes at us. Everything's going on. Football season just a lot busier than we thought it would be from us getting pulled every which way, coaching and everything. So, but we're excited to be here today. We're going to start it off, get right into it. We're going to talk volleyball. So volleyball is in full swing.
Man, here you go with that. That boy, that be tripping.
Yeah,
there you go. That was right.
Yeah, that in full swing. No, but I think everybody's officially started district. I think one of the last teams was Memorial and Legacy to start their district play. But yeah, a lot of great district matchups coming up. We already had the holidays, and I think Holiday and Henrietta comes up this week. But yeah, there's so many good games, a lot of great talent. Volleyball is crazy because there's so many good girls. And the one thing that I like most about volleyball around here is that since they all play in that, like, the club, the two big, clubs around here, they all like cheer for each other. They're all like a big family. Like, you see the Lauren Carters playing the Maddie Bobbitts or, whatever, but like speaking of that game, that's a big matchup on Tuesday, Memorial at Legacy. I'll be there. But that one, obviously we know which way that's going to go, but they are, though. They're sharing and stuff on their social media, and they all love each other. That's pretty cool to me, but I think that's a huge shout out to the programs, the volleyball programs that we have here that really bring all those girls together in the off season. But
Which is kind of unique and weird for girls. No point intent. Normally girls do not get along well with each other. So for the ladies to be able to handle that and get along, that's a testament to the parents for keeping the drama out of it and just keeping it on the sport and really loving the sport. So that's pretty good too. I like to see that from the young ladies.
I love the taunting. Like, I wish every other sport would not be. You see it in every sport where kids get taunting penalties and stuff like that. And volleyball is no hose bar. They throw it in your face if they spike it. They gonna make a chant about you if you shank a ball. I think more is more fun, and the refs definitely don't care. So it's almost what they encourage, and I like that, all the chants and cheers after they get an ace or something like that.
yeah,
it makes the game fun.
They got some good ones too.
Mm-hmm.
I recorded a video and I sent out of Miley Manis from Harold when I guess like when the ball comes just over the net and they just like spike it down super hard. It's called like a birthday or something. I don't know. And they all like put up like candles and she's like,
and she blew it out.
Yeah, like, nah, it was. But yeah, I agree, man. They have a lot of cool celebrations, and they talk a lot of trash, but at the end of the day, I think they all really just like cheering each other on.
Bring that to
stuff.
the other sports.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, plenty of good volleyball coming up. There's still plenty of
When
good
did you say the
matchups.
holiday? When did you say the holiday in
I think
Henrietta game?
I'm not sure. I have to double check.
I
on
know
that,
Henrietta's looking to get they probably had one
Yeah,
of their
so-
bad performances of the year. I know they're looking to get back for that.
Yeah, so Holiday, Henrietta traveled to Holiday and got handled. So, again, we talked about that on air, and we said that we think they're going to split that. Once they go to Henrietta, I think Henrietta will be more comfortable or whatever the case, and probably give Holiday give it back to them.
They're teenagers. They have bad performances.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they play on the 11th. So
that's what's
Friday?
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. So that'll be a good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there'll be football going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what else? Memorial's doing real well. I think they're undefeated. Are they undefeated in
Yeah,
there?
they 2-0 in district. I'm gonna kick myself. They played Abilene Cooper the week before, and I can't remember who they played this past Friday, but they're 2-0 in district. Like you said, they got the big one, the crosstown rivals in Legacy this Tuesday. So I'm sure the atmosphere of that place is going to be, besides tennis had the first ever Legacy Memorial match this past week, and now you're going to get it in volleyball. So you're starting to get a lot of firsts between the two new WFISD schools, and so I'm sure the student sections, the Howlers, I think that's what they call themselves, and then obviously you got the bullpen. I'm sure it's going to be that place will be rocking up there on the hilltop Tuesday.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll be there. It's going to be a good one. We all know that Memorial's probably picked to win that one. They're a little bit stronger team, but Legacy still got a lot of good players. They're still fun to watch. That Lauren Carter girl, she's all over the court. Mm-hmm. The Pennington girl, that she gets in there and smacks that ball down. So there's a lot of good players. If you're not doing anything on Tuesday night, go out there to Legacy. It should be a great one.
So Memorial, they beat Abilene,
And
then they beat Abilene Cooper. So those are the two.
So y'all's volleyball district is same about as your basketball district?
Yeah. So we have that volleyball district, and it is consisted of, along with basketball, and baseball consists of all three Abilene schools, and then Memorial and Legacy. Yeah, so 5-team district. Yeah.
All right. So next thing we'll go to we'll just do a little recap of Friday football games. Evan, go ahead with that.
All right. So as we know, we had come to pretty much the midpoint in the season, week 6. A lot of the teams most teams are usually in a 5-team district, and so week 6 is not that many games because there's a lot of teams on their bye week for their in their respective districts. So, for instance, like the Jacksboro Holiday, City View District 5, 3A Division 2, all of those teams were on break, but we had some good games on top. Forestburg lost to Irving Academy. You had Paradise over Bowie. You had Electra over Petrolia, 50-12. Windthorst over Mundy, 62-0. Olney dropped one to Crosbyton, 22-8. Stratford, which is the number 1, I believe, team in number 2 team in 2A Division 2. They got a tough road win over Childress, 21-14. Seymour, I thought Seymour was the surprise of the week just because they had been down, and they went into Haskell, tough environment, and they ended up winning 24-13. Wolf City kind of put on the cone a little bit, 58-6. Peaster, good Peaster team, went into Iowa Park. We know that's a tough place, and they got over them. Also, I talked about a good win, Vernon, that we know they've been dealing with injuries, and for them to overcome and beat Ponder, who's a really good team, 38-35, I think game-winning field goal.
Yeah, and they won that game without a Darius, one of their senior leaders. So that right there should be some momentum that they should be able to build on. Ty's back; he's playing pretty good. So that's all they can do right there is build on momentum on that. Ponder is a good team. Vernon did get up big, started off big. They kind of went flat a little bit, but were able to seal the deal at the end with a field goal, game-winning field goal. So that's good for them.
So then you had Lubbock Cooper over Legacy, 51-28. Memorial goes on the road and beats Paladuro 44-27. Harold loses to Rural 67-22. Wichita Christian, they just keep it rolling, man. Shout out Coach Nolan. I saw from the news clippings they unveiled their mascot. It was a star, so that's pretty neat. But they ended up beating Fennadale 64-14. Bryson over Gorman 55-22, and our man out there in Goldberg, Coach Healer, they went and got a big win over Northside.
He's been Coach Hiller, man. I'm proud of you, man. On this Sunday morning, man. God is good.
Yeah.
Prayers are answered for Coach Hiller out there. Christian Hiller. Y'all don't understand. His name is Christian Hiller. You know what I'm saying? Christian Christ. Come on.
Preach, bro.
On this Sunday, man. Come on.
If you didn't get your church in this morning.
That's a sermon right there,
They went
Coach
on the
Hiller.
road, like I said, and they won. Beat a 4-1 Northside team, so now their record's at 500 at 3-3. Chillicothe had a tough one versus Paint Creek. They were both 4-1. Paint Creek got the mercy rule on them, 45-0. Newcastle, they dropped another one to Jayton, 72-22. But
Jayton's number one team.
Newcastle's gone through a tough stretch with the last three teams they played. So, like Coach Archer said, they're building towards the playoffs. So we'll see how they come back, after these three tough physical games. And then the last game that was played between teams that we covered was Benjamin over Cherokee. This final was 106-88. So you guys watch.
That's a pro basketball.
You heard that.
We'll talk about the St. Joe and Parent Wick game where a defense was actually played, but 106-88.
I wonder how many tackles were made in that game.
Yeah, and it's the number Benjamin number 6 and Cherokee's number 3. So that was a big game for the 6 seed versus the 3 seed. So Benjamin is showing right now that hey,
we were not the Grayson.
Grayson, we love you, but this we had a team. You know what I'm saying? Grayson was a big deal out there, but they're showing that they had more than just him, and they're still, as I would call it, stomping with the big dog. So keep it up out there in Benjamin.
For sure. So a couple things that I wanted to mention, and we'll touch briefly, but let's talk about these Electra Tigers, man. 5-0. We constantly amongst ourselves we talk. Are they the real deal? Are they not? Are they a benefit of their schedule? What's going on in Electra? What are they drinking? Or somebody tell me something, because
you have to play
now.
Who's on your schedule, and like we said, teenagers have bad performances all the time. So to win the game 5 weeks in a row, like that's the goal. No matter who you're playing or who you're going up against, it's not easy to win Friday night football games, no matter where you are. So that's a testament to them, their coaches, their kids, their staff, to be ready to play, and coming out with a W is the ultimate goal.
I think for me, they just the Tigers out there, man. They out there, they're getting it in. This guy, he hates on me, but I keep bringing it up, man. With Coach M out there, that's a line of blood. He's brought that bloodline, and it's running through Electra right now. One thing I noticed is a couple of kids from Electra were able to earn to be on some of the rankings that we put out. And one of the kids I followed, he shared it and said, "Get ready to put me higher." So he basically, he's seen the rankings, he respect the rankings, but it's like he used it as a motivation. He was like, I'm coming for that one spot. So that's good. Those kids out there, they're hungry. They're as we all know, Tigers, they like to eat meat, and they're going out. They're hungry. They're feasting on their prey, the teams that they're playing. And I'm honestly, now that watching this season, coming into it, I'll be the first to say that I didn't have Electra nowhere near in contention in that district. And I would honestly say now that they're a strong contender to take that to be one of the ones at the end to win the district title that Windthorst has won for the last few years. So I'm excited about what's going on in the Electra, and that district to me has just gotten that much better. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Yeah, I agree that district is heating up. They do. We'll talk about this probably a little later, but Electra plays Seymour this week. Even though Seymour's, their record doesn't reflect that football team either. But that should be a good matchup. If they can push past a Seymour team that has perennially been beating them, that really shows you how far they've come in just a short amount of time. And like O said, we're excited for Electra, man. We talk about it. A lot of people are upset that Electra's at the top of our rankings in the area, but when you win, I mean, that holds a lot of weight, and some of us may not agree with Electra is up there. They had an easy schedule or whatever, but like Jay just said a little bit ago, you got to win. You still got to go out there and play the game and win on Friday night, and it's not easy.
But they're not just winning though. That's they're winning, like they're blowing teams out. They're not just barely winning these football games. So for me, if you're a team that people might say these teams are easy and they're supposed to win those games, but games that you're supposed to win, you should be dominating those games, and they're going out and dominating
They're
these
showing that.
teams. So
And that's sometimes as athletes, as all of us was. That's some of the games that you can slip up the most. Like we're supposed to win. We beat this team, or this team
Trap
is
games.
0-4. Yeah, mentally, it's hard to get kids to lock in all the time and be ready to play and win the game that they're supposed to win.
McKitty's got them going.
Yeah, and I agree. It's, as O stated, Electra as a tradition hadn't been there the last couple of years, and McKitty has come in year 2, bringing in some life and new blood, as you say, that Solana Cat blood, and so now that they're on the map, now they're probably the hunted. With even though Windthorst is probably the cream of the crop in the class, when you're 5-0, 6-0, you have a 0 on the other end. Now teams are gonna scout you a little better. They don't want to slip up on you. So, as being the top of their class, like you said, it's gonna be a tough district battle.
They got some tests coming. They got
sure.
some tests coming.
is Electra the last undefeated team in the area
No, 2 of them, Electra and St. Joe.
in St. Joe?
Well, Electra's the only last 11 man.
11 man. So we got 2 teams left.
Yep. Speaking of that, well, actually not speaking of that, we won't get there just yet, but we had O at the Legacy game and obviously Evan at Memorial game. Do you guys want to touch on either one of those games just a little bit?
I'll go over the Legacy game a little bit. The Legacy game for me, I just want to, first and foremost, I want to pour some type of inspiration into the young men that are playing the game. I want those, I know things are not going the way that ideally of what you want it to be going, but you got to find a way to believe and trust each other on the football field, because right now it appears that everybody's playing for individual accolades versus trying to find a way to come together as a team. Lubbock Cooper's they're not as big. I know a lot of people seen them as being big, but after seeing Lubbock Cooper the last couple years, they're nowhere near as big up front as they've been in the past. So I believe that it was an opportunity for Legacy. Shout out to Caven. I feel like he played an amazing game at defensive line. But also, too, just talking football a little bit, linebackers got to learn to plug behind when you got a big fella up front that's clogging it up like that. They got to learn to plug, and then just rallying to the ball. It's a lot of watching another man make the tackle versus it's all 11 men to the football. There was some spotlights with Legacy with being so young. I didn't realize until I was hearing people talk about it. They got 8 freshmen right now starting on varsity, and that's huge to do, moving up and being that big in classification. There's 8 guys that are freshmen that are playing, so that can be a good thing for the future. But also too, as parents, we got to make sure that we not coddle them, but we got to keep them motivated, because it can also be devastating. It can be discouraging. Nobody wants to be losing football games, but you were able to get on the board. That's the biggest thing. You didn't get goose egg this week. You were able to get on the board. But there's some spotlights. There's some highs. There's some lows. But the biggest thing I would say coming out of that game that I would like to see the Legacy Leopards learn to play the game a little bit more together as a team. Let's point the fingers and just keep believing, keep fighting. Season's not over. It's just this is just the first district game. No, second district game. Was this first or second district game?
Second.
Just a second district game, and like we always talk about, all you got to do is get that 4th spotting to get into the playoffs. So just find a way, dig deep, and just keep working hard.
Yeah, and so just the game between Mora and Amarillo Paladuro. Paladuro had the week off, so they were, I say, fresh and maybe had more time to work on some things. And so we knew as a coaching staff going in, one, they're a tough team. They're very athletic, and what Coach Mims is doing out there in establishing the culture back, bringing those kids back in the neighborhood of Paladuro, he's getting them on the right track. They are city champs this year for the first time, I think, in like 20-some odd years, beating Amarillo High and Tascosa and Caprock. So they were a tough team. Gave us some fits early from an offensive standpoint. What they did on defense, they had a great game plan. We were down 20-16 that half. Came out and scored on our first drive to make it 23-20. They got a touchdown to make it 23-27, and we kind of just leaned on our two good backs in Kenji and Eric and that offensive line. We had some big play by our receivers and Jamari Dean, Roman Peel, Jalil Thomas caught a pass. So I think this past game we ended up winning 44-27. So defensively, they balled out all night long. A lot of their scores or big plays from Paladuro was on the scramble, which if you ever play defense, you know it's hard to cover a guy anyway. But when you got to cover him for more than the couple of seconds you're supposed to on scramble runs, that makes it tough. So shout out to our defense of coaches and our defensive players. But I think from the offensive side, you got to also see a more balanced game plan, and as far as the pass complement the run. And so we're going into this break, much needed. We were battered and bruised as well, and as every team is in football. And so we'll go into this break and try to refresh because we got Abilene Wiley up next, and they're right now 2-0 in district play.
So I have a question for you, Coach. Just while we're on the air, I always like to talk about the big guys. You got, and not nothing against the other linemen, but
he's biased.
Hey, that's cool. But Carter and Caldridge, they're playing some amazing offensive line play. I just give you an opportunity to plug those guys, shout them out, but I've been able to kind of keep up with them. They're doing good. I mean, I'm the guy kind of that likes to follow the big guys, but they're definitely they're playing some good football right now, and I'm just giving you an opportunity to talk about those two.
Yeah, so everyone knows the talent of Kenji Johnson and Eric Powell, and obviously Joe Castles. And for people who really love the game and know the game, as you say it, those five guys up front are the ones who have to get everything done. Nobody is saying, hey, great job, hey, or getting their name in the paper for what they do of the dirty work. But, those five guys of Jalil Claudrick, Dominic Sanchez, Cross Armstead, Jalen Leal, and Colton Carter, you're talking about, once again, a culture, having to bring in three different cultures into one. And that's what we have. That's what I love about our offensive line, because you literally have guys from three different schools coming into one and trying to be cohesive. And you gotta understand, for you to have any type of drive or connection, that those five guys up front have to be on the same page. And so that is a shout out to our offensive line coaches, Coach McClung and Coach Neighbors, by getting those five guys on one accord and being able to be dominant. And it's showing in our play, because, like I said, it's easy, as I tell the running backs, it's easy to run through holes, but those guys have to do the dirty work. So those five guys, along with guys like Jordan Wilson, or sorry, not Jordan, Jaden Wilson, and some other swing guys who will come in. But those five guys up front, man, kudos to them, because like you said, they don't get the publicity they need, maybe from a newspaper standpoint or a stat standpoint, but they are definitely the glue and the engine that keeps us running.
Yeah, because and the reason I brought that up is it's not easy to have two guys in the backfield I think both of them are well over 400 yards in the season. That's hard to have two backs with those type of numbers. So you got to have somebody up front pushing and doing all of the dirty work. So, again, shout out to all the offensive line, not just at Memorial, but that are getting the pub today.
Yeah, for sure. We'll move over to six-man, where they only have like one offensive lineman.
Hey,
a lot of times.
They all linemen.
No. So I went to the Perrin-Witt St. Joe game, which was our biggest game this week, I think. Battle of the undefeated six-man teams. Perrin-Witt coming off of a win against a team that I think only had one regular season loss since 2021, which is impressive. St. Joe just kind of still just beating everybody, it seems like, that they've played. And all of us are still new to the six-man world. But as we dig deeper and get more involved, this was a game that we were hoping, or we were thinking might have been an offensive explosion, kind of like what ended out in Benjamin and Cherokee. We thought maybe it'd be some high scoring. The whole first half was actually defensive. The whole battle, they both teams were, obviously fired up coming out. They have a lot of speed on offense, a lot of speed on defense, both teams. Very well, evenly matched game for the most part through the first half. I mean, through the whole game, but for the first half, it was very defensive. And I mean, if for those of you that don't know, and I learned this at my very first game two weeks ago or so, it could be 4th down and 150 yards, and they're not going to punt the ball. Okay, there's no punting in 6 minutes. I mean, there is obviously, but there's not. Okay, I've been to 2 games now. I've not seen a single punt. One game, it was literally they had the ball inside their 10-yard line, and it was 4th and 30, and I think Forsberg still went for it. Punts is not a thing. Another thing that you would think that in 6-man that would be pretty easy is after they score a touchdown, they kick a field goal, an extra point. That extra point is actually worth 2 points, and there's been more missed extra points than made extra points in these 2 games. And you credit that to, or you don't credit it, but like the reason why is when you think about you got a kicker and a holder, so that's 2, and then you have 4 people left. So you got to pick.
4 versus 6.
Yeah. So you got 4 versus 6. So they're either stacked. So one guy is a center. So you really have 3 blockers. So one side's going to have 2 and one side can have 1. So you have free guys just running straight in after. And so I don't think I've ever seen the attempt. Maybe once they attempted to go for like the 2-point conversion, which I don't know if that's 2 points or 1 point because I don't think I've ever seen it happen. But somebody can correct us maybe. But anyways, back to the game. Very evenly matched. I talked to Coach Hance for St. Joe before the game, and I said, I asked him, what do you expect? And he told me, I don't think they've seen a defense as fast as ours. So I think that played a huge part. The defense of St. Joe was really good. Perrin Witt had a big number 13 running back. I forgot his name, but big, strong kid who could also throw but would just plow through people. You'll probably see some highlights coming because that kid did a lot. Back to the game, though, it was even throughout the whole game. I mean, it was scoring back and forth, back and forth. The biggest thing that I noticed was, and the reason I say St. Joe could be the real deal, is they have the ability to do the whole pitch back to the quarterback, and the quarterback can sit there, wait for a minute, wait for the defense to spread out, to cover, and then he can just weave through the whole field. And he did that multiple times, and that was kind of their game plan that they went to. That was their offense, was pitch it back to the quarterback, or to number 4. I don't know his name. I have to get these names checked. And he just weaved through the defense, and he did that probably 6 times. 4 of them got called back for blocks or holding. But this kid could just weave. And, I mean, he would –
playing tag.
Yeah, that's it. And he just weaves through, and people wouldn't even touch him, dude. And so for them to be able to have that, I think is the ultimate – like, whenever I look at that game, I'm like, well, that's the ultimate cheat code because you can just do that. Like, you don't even – and it was literally – that was their play for a majority of – and then they'd swing in something to the left or a fake pitch. But, I mean, it was just – I'm getting more and more interested in getting fired up about 6-man football just because there's so many different formations and this and that. But it came down to right there at the end. I think the score was 32-30. Perrin Witt got the ball with I think less than 2 minutes left, but they made a huge pass. They got down within range, and I thought they were going to kick a field goal. A field goal was worth 4 points. They were probably 20 yards out. 20 to 25 yards out, ended up being like 4th and 5. They went for it versus going on a field goal, and St. Joe's defense stood up, made a big stop, and won the game. So I anticipate St. Joe moving into the rankings if they're not already there, just because they're just playing so good, and they have that ability with that quarterback to just do whatever. Coach Hance and his guys are getting those kids fired up on the sideline. I mean, they literally don't shut up. I mean, they are constantly screaming at their team, whether they're defense or offense, which I love. I think that's awesome. But yeah, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan of. I really liked Perrin Witt for their logo and what they did, what they've been doing. And I'm a fan of all the teams. Don't get me wrong, but St. Joe, man, I got a little spot in my heart right now for them because they're, And their volleyball team too, man. They're doing good things, both both volleyball and football right now. So keep going, St. Joe. We're rooting for you. We're rooting for all the other teams too.
I do want to make a correction. We said the last undefeated teams. Sorry about that, Wichita Christian. Wichita Christian and St. Joe are the last two 6-man undefeated teams. And it's a possibility, knock on wood, that both of them could possibly end the season 10-0. There's a strong possibility as they're getting ready to go into district play. There's a possibility that Wichita Christian and St. Joe
That'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be nice. Be real nice.
Yeah, so, yeah, do apologize for Wichita Christian. We forgot about that. But was that? Oh, okay. Once a break, we're going to go over about 5 more things. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so, yeah, with that being said, we went over volleyball. We touched on the recap of the Friday night games. We talked 11-man, talked some 6-man. We're going to come back and talk about some of the teams in the upcoming district matches, and we'll go for there. But first, let's get a word from our sponsors.
At Orthopedics Express, our primary focus is delivering exceptional care to patients with orthopedic injuries, such as sprains, strains, broken bones, and joint pain. You'll receive the expert care you need when you need it most. Simply walk in or schedule an appointment through MyChart. Located inside the Center for Advanced Orthopedics, Orthopedics Express is your fast track to orthopedic care.
The realtor we trust is Kim Roark, given to others with love. Kim was raised in this community and has been selflessly serving for over 20 years. Kim encourages everyone to thrive in their purpose. Kim is part of the Homes for Heroes program, where she gives back a portion of her commissions from each closing to all military, firefighters, law enforcement, healthcare, and educators who use her services. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Kim is the realtor for you. Go check out the website, homesforheroes.com. Since starting from scratch in 2020 by longtime resident of Clay County, Bob Belcher, Duck Creek Disposal has quickly become one of the most trusted waste disposal service and dumpster rental companies serving the 940 community and the surrounding areas. Local to the core, they take immense pride in being a part of the Wichita Falls community. Duck Creek Disposal's deep roots mean that every customer is treated like a neighbor. Their promise is to guarantee the best customer experience in the area, and they live by it. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or business, they've tailored their services to suit varied requirements. Bob's hands-on approach and belief in personal connection means that when you call Duck Creek Disposal, you're experiencing a standard of service that Bob himself envisioned. You talk to real people, not a machine. Go give Bob a call at 940-257-5660. Serving the 940 community for 12 years, Allegiance Electric and Controls is the trusted go-to for commercial and industrial electrical solutions. Contact them for reliable, tailored services to keep your operations running smoothly. Please call or visit their website at aecllc.com. For all your paving and concrete needs, we trust Freeman Paving, LLC. Located in Vernon, Texas, Freeman Paving is our recommended business for concrete, paving, and dirt work. They have over 20 years of experience working right here in our community. Next time you need any concrete work, give them a call, 940-552-9496. If you're looking to treat yourself to a delicious dessert, then Yogurt Journey is the place to be. Yogurt Journey offers 12 delicious flavors of frozen yogurt with over 60 topping options. If you want something warm instead, stop by to enjoy an amazing funnel cake, fried Oreos, fried brownies, or fried candy. Yogurt Journey also offers frozen yogurt rolls, waffle frozen yogurt rolls, and smoothies. If you need a cake for your next celebration, YoJo provides custom frozen yogurt cakes. Yogurt Journey is located on Kemp Street across from Barwise Middle School and is open daily from 12 to 9 p.m. For all your roofing-related needs, we choose Assured Roofing and Construction. At Assured Roofing and Construction, their hard work is based off honesty, loyalty, and integrity, ensuring that every customer gets what they deserve and is happy and stress-free throughout the entire process. When any storm damage occurs to your roof, gutters, fencing, or siding, Assured will have you covered and help you from the initial free inspection to filing your claim, meeting with adjusters, and getting your damaged property fixed properly. Give AJ a call at 940-782-1194. As one of the top medical spas in Wichita Falls, GlowMD offers a comprehensive collection of treatments and services for you to look and feel your absolute best. Our physician-led team will ensure a warm, welcoming experience with a personalized approach. Give Dr. Don Peters a call, 940-642-4982.
Refresh your ride during the Thrill of Summer sales event at Nissan of Wichita Falls. Come see our great lineup of new Nissans, including the all-new Nissan Rogue and the new 2024 Nissan Frontier. Nissan of Wichita Falls has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles and a service staff of certified Nissan technicians, backed by the best parts department in Texoma. We're locally owned and operated with a sales team you can trust at Nissan of Wichita Falls.
7.
All right.
Huh?
We're back.
7. Jay
We're
had
back
6.
on it.
You and Jeff had 6.
But who winning still though?
Probably me now.
Me.
You had 7.
I'm winning.
You was a 2-game leader.
All right, we're back here after the commercial break, showing our sponsors, which we appreciate so much. We're going to go in and talk about, still on football, we're talking about the upcoming districts, how we're excited about a few districts more than others, obviously. But I guess I'll ask you, Jay, who are you most excited about for district play?
I want to see what City View's defense does against the two high-powered offenses of Holiday and Jacksboro. I've watched Holiday and Jacksboro play against Berg live, and I text in the group that the more I watch, the more I think City View can win their district. Of course, we don't know how matchups will go, but I think they are athletes versus what both of those teams want to do is throw the ball around and get it to their athletes in space and stuff like that. I think City View matches up with them very, very well, and I think I want to see how that holds up. I want to see how those two great receivers, Ashtonberry and Cannon, match up with City View DBs. I know a lot of those City View DBs, and I know they're going to be looking for a challenge to go against two high-caliber receivers and offenses, and I really think they match up well, and they've probably been the best defense in the area through 6 weeks.
Yeah, we did. We hear it weekly, but O's been right in saying it that's their strength. You know, City View's defense has been holding them in games, and then they've just been really balling out, like playing a lot of great football from the defensive side. So, yeah, that is a matchup to see. I think we're going to get to see that this week, obviously. But where do we think that – so I think we have at least two of us here that think City View can win that district. Who do you think – does it go City View, Jacksboro, Holiday, or City View, Holiday, Jacksboro?
It's all matchups. I think it goes right now, if I had to pick today, I think Jacksboro, City View, Holiday right now. But I think City View has a chip on their shoulder. They go in to Jacksboro and beat Jacksboro, I think they're going to win the district. I think this week is very key for them, and just the psyche, being a team that's been right there the last 2 to 3 years, really been right there on the ropes to win in the district. What was the Holiday game last year? It was 7-7, or they won on what year was that?
Oh, that was a couple years ago when Holiday kicked the game winning
field goal.
Literally, it hit the crossbar and went in. So that was it's one of those things. The district's gonna be good. And I want to throw Henrietta in the mix. I know they're not as good as what they've been in the past.
They're playing better football, though.
But it's still that district. Those kids know each other. They've grown up playing against each other since top of Texas. It's always just a battle-tested district because everybody knows each other. They communicate with each other. So I just think those 4 teams, anything can happen on any game. Like I've told the kids at City View, I was like, you gotta handle business. You're not gonna be looked past anymore. Everybody's gonna take you serious every week now. So it's not gonna be one of those things where you just come in and teams that take you serious, you punch them in the mouth and it's too late. You gotta come to play football. So I think the district's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see it. It starts. City View, unfortunately, they have the gauntlet at the beginning. They go Jacksboro, Henrietta, Holiday. They get the other top teams right off the rip. So they're gonna be battle tested early. So it's one of those things. They got to come in. They got to play. Jacksboro's still the favorite. I'm on the record saying I believe right now Jacksboro and Holiday are still the favorites. I feel like City View haven't proved what they need to prove. to get the respect amongst the district. So they get an opportunity on Friday to come out and do just that.
I agree with you on that. I think right now it's Jacksboro, Holiday, City View. But again, I've been critical on City View only because O's right here. He just loves them so much. No, the very first game I went to the season when City View played good teams find a way to win whenever they play bad. And the way they played against Bridgeport but still won. And then they come out and they still were kind of played, I won't say bad, but they had a lot of mistakes against Windthorst, took that L. But ever since then, man, they've been on it. And I've been in here saying I need to see this, and they're showing me this stuff.
I think their offense is finally starting to catch up and catch the defense a little bit and play on the level of their defense have. I think early their offense was struggling, and an offense was trying to find a niche. New quarterback, new different style of quarterback. Malachi is a great competitor, but he doesn't play quarterback traditionally. So I think trying to find his niche, get his weapons the ball. I think Desmond's been balling out all year. I think they're starting to figure it out on that side, and now it's starting to catch up to play with the defense, and they're starting to dominate teams.
And I think y'all are right too. I mean, this district's gonna be whoever comes out of this. First place is going to be battered and bruised. You can maybe have a 1 or 2 loss, probably district champ, just because of how good the top 3 teams are. And then obviously, like Coach O said, Henrietta in there. But I'm gonna say Jacksboro because of what they brought back and how those guys are going throughout the season. To me, in my honest opinion, to be the champ, you got to beat the champs. Yeah. And so they're the champs, and they're the hunted. They got the mark on their back. And so teams like City View, how are you now going to handle, of course, we've talked about it off air, the publicity, right? State ranking for the first time ever. You had the bye week, so now you're fresh. Defense has been keeping teams under control. Even in their loss, 21 points. That's a hell of a.
Most
defense.
of that was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was a hell of a defensive stand. And so, I think how City View defense, as we talked about, comes in play. Does the offense now take another step up? The Alba Park game, the 5 touchdowns thrown. Whiteside, he's a playmaker over there. And so, how will City View stack up with now being a marksman, now not sneaking up on anybody? And so how they handle those, like you said, they don't get to ease into it. It's right off the bat. Here we go. Yeah. So
show me state.
Yeah, the shoot. And no better way to go to Jacksboro, the defending district champs, regional finals, qualifier, all those type things in their own building. That's gonna be a hell of a game.
Jacksboro, actually, they're not our district champs. Holiday was.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I think that's the one thing, when I try to talk about this stuff, I try to talk about it in an unbiased way. I think Holiday is going to be playing with more of a chip on their shoulder than anybody because they're I would say City View as well, too, but Holiday, because they are the reigning district champs in that district. I think they're going to be the ones considering that everybody thinks that they're just forgotten about and things like that. So, like I said, it could easily go down that you have 3 teams with 1-1 records. I mean with 1 loss. You could easily, and then that would get interesting because it comes down to coin flips and different things like that. Because hypothetically, you could have City View beat Holiday or Jacksboro, and then vice versa, one of them beat the other, and then it could get real chaotic and interesting. But like right now, like I said, the favorites right now I would still say is Jacksboro, and then everything else is up in the air. Just as I'm talking, the other district that I want to talk about a little bit is the Memorial District with Lubbock Cooper. Coming into the season, I was the first on the air. I'm not gonna even lie. I said it was Lubbock Cooper's to win. I still feel that way. But I do feel that Memorial has made the strides. I do feel Memorial has shown that they can play with Lubbock Cooper. After the way that they played Friendship, that was the first eye-opening. And then we always knew that the 2-headed monster in with Kenji and Eric was going to be a big deal. But last week they were able to show that they were able to get the passing game going a little bit. So I'm excited to see that matchup, not looking past any other matchups in that district. I do see Memorial being one of the top 4 teams for sure in that district, being able to make the playoffs. But I do think Memorial has an opportunity to compete for the district title in that. Lubbock Cooper still being the favorite, but I have Memorial having an opportunity to win that district as well now.
So we have, talk about that district. We talked about the 3A district. We got 2A that has an awesome district with teams that we cover. And we also have a 6-man or 2 6-man districts that have a lot of the teams we cover. So, we got tons of games, tons of, exciting matchups and stuff coming up. So hopefully we'll be able to be back weekly to bring a lot of that stuff in here to you guys for the listeners that are actually coming in and hanging out with us. But we'll move on. I lost my thing. Hold on.
Cut me out, Shouty.
Okay, yeah. So, let's just move on and get our picks going, and we'll go from there. And again, our picks are going to be for this week's matchups between teams that play each other that are in our coverage area. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of games going on that we may play teams outside our coverage area, but for these picks and for the picks that you see with the graphic probably later this week, it will be for the teams when we playing head to head, and we may select a couple extra just to kind of fill up the sheet, but it looks like this week we have quite a few. So let's just start.
Before we get into that, let's just talk about the total, and I can help explain that as well.
The total, what you better not do this.
But I know when we did our graphic last week, which is great job, Jeff, by the way, putting our graphic up with our
no problem.
with our games that we picked. Some people were asking, well, what about this and what about this and what about that? As he stated, we're picking teams who are in our coverage area. So same teams that we're covering. Like for instance, even though Memorial and Legacy are in 940 area, they play teams who were, now we picked them just because there was no games. There was not as many games being played, but so they were our special picks. But we're trying to get those teams who are in our coverage area playing. So this week we'll have quite a few more picks. And so for that, we've been running I've been keeping up with a total of picks. And so do you want to start from the rear?
Just give them what the score is.
I know I'm first place.
Well, Jeff is not in first place. He's actually in last.
What's his standing, Jeff?
He's 106, so he's picked 106 games right and 53 losses.
53?
53.
Yeah, horrible.
No, that's like 66%.
Jay is 108 and 51. All right.
Sympathy pick.
This guy.
That changed my pick.
He was ahead. Now he's down. Big O is 116 and 43.
Yeah.
And
so I'm 13 games.
And leading the way, I am 117 and 42. So we're close.
Yeah,
it's
close. One game.
And I'll tell you this. I've also
that one game that I think something might have happened over there. I ain't gonna say nothing else on the air about
and so I've also kept up with our game of the week picks. And actually, Big O and Jeff are leading the bottom at 3-3.
Leading the bottom.
Leading the bottom at 3-3.
No diddy.
Yep. I myself, I'm 4-2. Hey, remember Burke? Game week 1? Yeah.
Shout out to my Burke people.
Who let the dogs
Who let the dogs out?
I'm 4-2, and then leading the way in games of the week, Jay Gould, 5-1, man.
Boy, you something. We gonna get it right.
Yeah. So we having fun with this.
Yeah, it's close though. It's close.
Yeah.
Dang. So how many weeks is it again? 10 weeks.
Got 10. Yeah.
So we're 6, 4, 3.
Plenty of time to play.
Oh yeah, we got plenty.
Don't start trying to pick after me though. Like that's why I let you
don't
go.
Need to pick after you.
I let you go.
Y'all
first.
be on me about getting them in, and then y'all wait till the last minute.
Yeah, because I want to see what decisions.
All right, so here that brings us to the games then of the week, or not the games of the week, but our games that we're gonna pick on air, and you might see them in the graphic. Let's just start off with it. We got Newcastle at Perrin-Witt. Newcastle, like we mentioned earlier, coming off a couple of tough losses, but big games. I mean, they're strong opponents, pushing themselves. I'm gonna go. I'll start it, and I'll start with the Perrin-Witt Pirates.
I knew he was gonna pick them.
So you're picking after me if you pick
Yeah,
them.
that's cool. God.
It's tough.
This is a hard one because I believe Newcastle is a good team. I believe they've been battle tested, playing some good football. I'm actually gonna pick Coach Archer and Newcastle on this one. I'm rolling with the Bobcats on this.
I agree. I think they've lost 3 in a row. Newcastle has been to really tough opponents. Perrin Witness coming off a loss, and so like I said, I like Coach Archer, so I'm gonna go with Newcastle as well.
Newcastle.
All right, so I'm the only one out on that one. So come on, Pirates. We got this. Wave the flag high, baby.
Yeah, you need to win.
No, that's a lock. That's a lock. All right, so dang, another tough one right here. And next one up, City View against Jacksboro. City View at Jacksboro.
We just skip over here.
We talked about it. We know. I mean, either of these teams can win the game, easy. But I'm gonna go with kind of like what Evan mentioned earlier. To beat the champ, you got to beat the champ, and I don't think City View is gonna take it just yet. So I'm gonna go Jacksboro.
His attire says it all. Skip him, please.
Finally,
Look at the fan.
I've come back to City View. Mustangs get it done. Y'all heard it here today on the Lord's Day. City View by 2 touchdowns.
That may be bulletin board material for those people out there in
They're
Jacksboro.
gonna literally put you on everybody's
You gonna
locker.
be on Jacksboro
Everybody
barstool,
can't.
Put it back on me.
which is making news.
Let me get
Which is making the other news.
This is the face you need to see.
Wait, move
me on
the
there.
mic a little bit.
Get him a fat head.
That is gonna be on Cannon's locker.
By 14.
14, not 13. So they're gonna make both extra points.
14.
Ooh.
Not 12, not 13, 14.
Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, it's gonna be a good
No,
game.
you can't take it back.
I'm not taking it back. By 14 is what I said, but I think it's gonna be a competitive game. City View by 14, I believe.
I think this game is a matter of 2 tough teams, 2 great teams playing it, and I think, as I said, to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. I think City View can do it, but I believe the home team, because whoever at home, if this was City View at home, I think I'm picking City View, but
Home team advantage.
home team advantage in that crowd. I won't be surprised if City View pulls off the win, so I'm gonna just stick with the home team and go Jacksboro.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing for me. If it was at City View, I'd definitely by far pick City View. But one thing I want to say, Desmond is still starting in corner, isn't he?
Yes.
I want. Gosh, I wish there's
We'll
gonna be
see
a
that
huddle.
matchup.
There's gonna be a huddle thing. I might get somebody's huddle just to watch that. I want to see the matchup between him again. I know in high school they don't do a lot of following and stuff like that.
I don't think we have to, because we have a 6'3" corner in Coach and Barnett, that 4'5", 40 kid that can match up with him, jump ball with him. I mean, I would understand wanting to see the matchup,
Yeah.
but when you got a kid out there that's 6'3", 4'5", 40 kid that matches him size wise, I think whatever size he line up on, he's gonna get a handful either way.
From a competitive standpoint, I know how Desmond rocks. I've been around the kid for a little bit, and like you have too. I think this is one of those things I'm going to coach you. Like I want to go wherever he goes. I don't. It's not a matchup thing because Des can jump out of the gym and he's a crazy fast kid. And Cannon, that's one thing that I did watching him play against Burke. I watched him like. There wasn't much to watch in that game, but it was pretty entertaining. But I watched him run routes. I watched him block. I watched him do all those things. And that dude's a dude, as a college coach would say, because
he's physical.
He wants to compete. He's nasty. He's a route runner. I seen him run routes. I seen him block the heck out of people into the stands. I seen him and he had that competitive nature. And as me, as
And he
a
was fired
competitor-
up against Burt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If me as a competitor.
saying.
I'm going to coach and saying wherever he goes, I go. Like wherever he goes, I go. But I guess I can get to my pick. I'll say City View shocks.
Oh,
City View
Split.
shocks them.
All right. Hey, no wrong answer there. Next game, Windthorst and Archer City. Another one, single loss teams. I'm gonna go. I'll just make it easy and quick. I'm gonna go Windthorst.
This is a hard one. I need to pull up my stats on this real quick. The reason I say this is hard is because Windthorst is battle tested and Archer's battle tested as well. This is a rivalry. For people that don't know, this is a big rivalry game. So we, as people that's played in rivalry games, especially you guys from Burt, y'all have been in multiple rivalry games with Hershey. So you guys know on your worst season, that game you'll probably
That's
have
the
your. If we win this, we
won the season. That's a winning season.
We can lose everything else as long as we win that game.
Yep.
So my heart is telling me to go with Windthorst.
You wearing blue too.
I am. I bleed blue. So last year the score was 28-27. Windthorst was a younger team last year.
Who won last year?
Windthorst won 28-27. Okay. All right. Coach, I can't pick against you, man. But Archer City coach came in. He impressed me a lot. Talked about the offensive line. I'm picking Archer City.
Ooh. I just, like you said, they were young last year, and all those guys returned, and that was a tough win. Obviously at home, now they're on the road. Young team got a year older, so I'm gonna go with the Trojans. Tough win on the road.
Yeah, for sure. I think them being so young and them being battle tested, going to City View and pulling that crazy game off, I think I'm gonna go with Windthorst.
All right, next game, the 5-0 Electra Tigers at Seymour. So go into Seymour. Like I said, this one I think is going to be a tough game. Might be one of those games that if Electra does pull it off, it's like, all right, we're just even more belief, more belief, more belief. So Seymour, I don't know where they stand from a health standpoint, but I think they're still trying to figure things out over there, and I think Electra at 5-0 has figured some things out. Like O mentioned, beating teams, not just beating them, but beating them pretty badly. I think Electra wins this game.
Ads.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh yeah, that was shout out. Get you some insurance. This is another hard one. Man, this is good though, y'all.
District play, man.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Like we got some tough games in our coverage area. That means some good football being played in 940. Oh man,
we're gonna speed this up though because we'll be here till
McKitty,
next Tuesday.
And then we got my guy, Coach Lloyd. I'm going with in this one. I'm gonna believe. I'm gonna be a believer, and I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Electra in this one.
Electra. I'm gonna go with them too. I just looked it up. That was my ad plan. Sorry. I just looked up November the 1st. That's when they play Windthorst. Now they'll have to get by Seymour, Monday, and Archer City, but I think they're going to be undefeated when they play Windthorst. So give me Electra.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in everything and go with Seymour. Airs it out, throws for a whole bunch of yards, and wins the game. Could
do. All right, the next one I think is a little bit easier. Burke Burnett at Graham. I'm gonna go. Sorry, Bulldogs. Going Graham.
There's no sorry. Don't say sorry.
I bleed orange, but
this is a hard one.
No, it's not.
I'm going Graham.
Yeah, Graham.
Bubble wrap, icy hot, Graham by a lot.
They could take their starters out though. Next one, Chillicothe at Harold. Chillicothe started off really hot. I guess they've lost the last 2 games.
Yeah,
against pretty tough opponents. Harold's actually playing some good football too. I'm gonna go Chillicothe.
Chillicothe.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles as well. Chillicothe.
All right, speeding up just a little bit. We got the next one, North Side and Knox City, both 4-2. They're in Knox City. Again, I think North Side playing really good ball. They took a loss last week, but so did Knox City. But I'm going to go Knox City at home.
Knox City.
The same. Knox City.
Knox City.
All right, second to last. Throckmorton against Goldberg. I know everybody here. I know my guy to my left definitely going with the healer, and I'm going with the healer too. I'm gonna pick Goldberg.
That's all I'm gonna say.
He's going Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg started off slow. I say slow and played a tough teams, and the win over Northside last week was a good win. So I'm going Goldberg.
Can't pick against the healer on the Lord's Day.
Yes, sir.
All right, now that brings us to. Doom, doom, doom. I don't know. I'm using
Yeah, we
which
need
one.
to know. Doom, doom.
Oh dang, that wasn't it.
Fired.
Perfect time, and you messed it up.
Oh man. Our game of the week.
And it was tough as you see all those games.
Yes,
that we've had.
yes. We went back and forth. There's a lot of good games. I think that we actually, when we first heard about this game, when the coaches came in, and it's against a team that's not in our coverage area, but it's a very popular game. I guess it's a very big rivalry. How long did we say it was going for?
I think I read 62. Don't quote me on that, but their first
Around-
meeting was 62, and they're 8 miles apart. So that you got probably cousins, brothers,
yeah.
aunts,
Yeah.
uncles, families gonna be
You
split.
got families split on the field. This is the Kraut Bowl. We're excited about it. Like I said, the coach came in here talking about it. Got me excited about it. All the food that they have. They have like a parade, I guess, that they do. It's a huge deal between those two teams, between Munster and Lindsay. Both teams look really good. They both are playing good football. And yeah, Lindsay's right outside our coverage area, which is fine. But this is something that we've been looking forward to since the beginning of the season, and that's our game of the week. Munster at Lindsay, the Kraut Bowl. I'm gonna pick. Oh, man, Munster sitting at 3-2. I know they lost a Holiday. I can't remember who else they lost to.
Pottsboro. So 2 3A division teams. That's who Munster lost.
Okay, so they lost, and then not sure. Again, we don't cover Lindsay, so we're not probably up. I know that some of these guys probably know that, but I'm gonna go with our coverage area team. And I've been out there. I saw him play. And that number 8 and his wild catches, I'm going to go with Munster.
This is gonna be a good one. I hate that I can't be there because everybody know I love to eat. It's crab bowl for a reason. I don't like sauerkraut, but one of those
All them
German.
That's nasty.
The German.
Yeah, you love the sausages.
No Diddy. Please, brother.
I do too. No Diddy. No Diddy.
Vaseline.
But yeah, so pretty much, I'm going with Munster on this one. The unique part about this is, if you guys have never been to Munster, Texas, or Lindsay, man, it's a unique culture. German families out there, hardworking young people, working families. I'm going with Munster on this one because I love that Munster cheese. So I'm picking Munster on this one.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify. I said the first meeting was in 64. But Kraut Bowl, slang term for German descent, as we talked about, sauerkraut, obviously. So 2 German towns founded by one family reading up on it. 8 miles apart, as we said. Families are going to be broke or going to be split apart. Cousins, brothers, uncles, aunts, moms and dads, grandmas, grandpas. So
The dogs too.
The dogs too. They don't know where yeah. Like I said, I wish I could go. I may show up. You never know. But I'm gonna stick with Coach Carney, man. Like I said, their 2 losses are 2 3A division teams, so they are battle tested. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he said he was from Lindsay or graduated from Lindsay, one of the two. So that brings some extra added.
Or maybe he coached there.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
coach.
coach,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
one of those two, and so that brings in some.
Yeah, because he's been on both sides. I think
Yeah, been on both sides of the rivalry. So, Suns lead it. So I'm gonna go with Munster.
Yeah, I think Munster really went out in a non-district and challenged themselves and got ready for district and maybe even a deep run in the playoffs. So I'm going with Munster.
All right, so that wraps up our picks. Hopefully we'll get a graphic out for that. And yeah, so that we had some other things. I think one thing to look out for coming up will be our basketball preview. I know Jay is going to be taking the reins on that. Preseason rankings coming out too. So just be on the lookout, be on the watch for on the Facebook page and and wherever else. But we're not 100% sure what we're going to do. But we want to bring in either coaches or players or a mixture of the two to get some good preview of the upcoming basketball. That'll mark our 1 year. Like, we started with basketball as a team here, and so I mean, we've come a long way. We've done some good things, I feel. I'm proud of you guys. I know that we're looking forward to the next year, but year one's in the books coming up, and that'll be good for us, or be big for us.
Oh, yeah. I got to remind them about something. Oh, just for you guys, stay tuned. Coming soon, the Big O Special is going to be a segment on the sideline. Stay tuned.
Free food,
Yes,
businesses. If you can cook, whatever, we'll take it.
It's coming soon. Stay tuned. Check in.
Yeah, we got a lot of things that we've been so busy that we really haven't even got to brainstorm the way that we did when we first started. And that's just, I guess we didn't realize how busy we would be during this time of the year, with all of us heavily involved with football, coaching our own kids, and trying to make some coverage, or trying to get some coverage of everything going on as well. With three out of the four of us are taken away for our own kids on each given day. So it's just hard for us to all get together, but that it comes back to, like, we're not even in our text group as much as I said we were when we first started, obviously, but we have some big plans for things coming up. We want you guys to stay tuned. We appreciate all the support from everybody, all of our sponsors, all the people that even go as far as, like, sharing our stuff on Facebook or commenting on our stuff on Facebook. To clear up, the Sideline Sports and On the Sideline, we did separate the two. If you haven't already followed the On the Sideline, go follow that on Facebook. Might bring that to other platforms too, coming up in the near future. But we just wanted to separate those. But we'll be doing both. I'll be covering both for a little time, and then we'll eventually move over to On the Sideline. But yeah, you guys have anything else?
Nah, I'm just excited, man. It's been fun. It's been going good. And you know what they say, a company that can survive 1 year is a company that, you go through your ups and your downs, but we've made it 1 year. We're almost to our 1 year mark, and we couldn't have done it without you guys and this community and the support, and we really do appreciate it. I know sometimes we get a little bit of heat from our approach about things, but everything we do is geared back, making sure there's 100% sacrifice towards the kids in this community. We want to make sure that they feel the appreciation and the love, and I feel like in this 1 year we've done that, we've achieved that, and we're looking forward to doing even more in this upcoming year that's coming up.
Yep. You guys got anything?
I'm good.
Yep. Evan?
No, man, just looking forward to, like I said, district play for everybody else starting. So that District 5 through 8 Division 2, man, that's going to be a hell of a district. And as we talked about, that 2A district with Electra, Archer City, and Windthorst, man, it's some good ball coming up. And obviously volleyball, they are getting into another step deeper into their district play. So it's been a great season so far. And like you said, this year run has been great. So I'm happy about it, where we are and where we're going.
Yep. And, man, yeah, I ain't got really nothing else. I guess we'll wrap this up, and we'll see you the next time.